our daughter started being brought into things, messages sent or approaches made discussing her by name, autism, neurodivergency, and very uninformed and negative matters. One message sent was, well, if you want to be left alone, what do you want to happen if there's an emergency with Leona is our daughter, and named her specifically. So that was terrifying because it's like, so you're going to see a child in an emergency that you know has special needs, and you're just going to say, oh, well, I have to leave them alone. Like, no, 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 no. You help that child. And, there's different levels of autism. Some are just enough on the spectrum that you might not know it at first. So I wanted to work to problem solve, like, hey, if someone doesn't know how to or doesn't want to help a child, how do we fix that?
To eliminate the often unseen mental health challenges faced by first responders, police officers, firefighters, paramedics, and 911 dispatchers, by sharing their stories, fostering understanding, and promoting resources for support and healing. We aim to break down stigma, advocate for improved mental health services within the first responder community, and inspire hope and resilience. This is the Weight We Carry podcast.
What's going on, guys? It's Bart with the Weight We Carry podcast. We're back again for season 4. And today we have a very special guest, Katie Moz Crawford from 12 Months of April. How are you doing, ma'am?
I'm good. How are you?
Fantastic. It's a pleasure meeting you. We've been back and forth a few times via email, and I see you commenting and things on our social media posts. We really appreciate the shares and everything. But thank you so much for coming on. I'd like to pass it over to you so you can better explain your nonprofit that you have going on and give it to the masses.
Okay. Well, first off, thank you for doing this podcast. There is like stigma, about mental health care, but, I think of it as like if your first responder vehicles broke down, like, oh, the wheel fell off, like, you're not just going to slap the truck and say, I'll drive it off, you'll be fine. Like, no, you get a tow truck, you go to a mechanic, you do whatever to fix it. So, everyone has to do that for themselves. So I think it's great that you're doing this to kind of be like, it's okay to, get the mechanic, get the tow truck, whatever for yourself.
Absolutely.
Um, yeah, so thank you, and thank you for having me. My name is Katie. I am a teacher and a parent, and I started a project. I called it 12 Months of April because April is Autism Awareness Month. So your social media feeds are flooded with all this stuff, information, advocacy, and then it just kind of goes away. So I was like, well, I was finding families and first responders didn't know about different programs that are free and can really make a difference in an emergency. Um, so I made myself the goal within 12 months, I would contact all municipalities in Allegheny County where I live to talk about the Yellow Dot program, Project Lifesaver, premise alerts, things like that. To kind of just help bridge the gaps of knowledge that I was noticing. And then during that time, I spoke with a social worker at Sharpsburg Police, and we talked about sensory kits, just little bags of like fidgets, headphones, things to help someone with autism or sensory needs in an emergency. And I was stunned that they can sell for like $50 to $150 each for like a tote bag of stuff that I had in toy boxes and piles at my house and was trying to get rid of. Don't tell me. So I dug into those toy boxes and made some sensory kits based off of things that have helped, children in our family and then my students. And then started donating them, put it on our Facebook page. People started reaching out being like, hey, can we get those? So then it's just kind of been a cycle ever since of like me asking people like, hey, are you cleaning out your toy boxes? You cleaning off your bookshelf? And then I reach out to agencies and say, hey, we have these. Do you want them? I don't know our exact number, but we did delivery runs this weekend, and I think we've donated about 800 sensory kits throughout
Wow.
Allegheny County.
Wow.
So, we're very proud of it. Our daughter helps us. She knows how to explain everything in the kits. She's a better public speaker than some adults I know. We're just we're very proud trying to bridge the gaps and help everybody out.
That's awesome. Well, thank you for what you guys are doing. You're definitely it's changing the world one department, one person at a time,
Right.
and that's all we can ask to be doing, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, Katie, let's get into these questions here. We're going to start back at your childhood, and we're going to work all the way up until present day, and we'll see where it takes us. Okay.
Okay.
Alrighty. If you can, take us back to the beginning. What experiences in your early life shaped your heart for advocacy and education?
Um, I I've always liked working with kids, and I'm an art teacher, always been creative. So you put helping and kids and art together and you get an art teacher. Um, and I grew up in a little town outside of Erie called Northeast. It's a town, not a direction. Home of the grape pickers. If you've ever drank Welch's grape juice, um, that's us, part of us. Pretty good, I was in the gifted program, I did sports, dance, all sorts of things, very fortunate. I went to college in Erie for art education, and something that I mentioned in the intake, was a situation I was in with someone that drinking and driving on their part and how, I dealt with it and how that situation has kind of, come back in my life now, not what it might sound like right now, but, um, you know, those experiences are things that I took with me so I can recognize and know things now, 20 years later.
So, as both a parent and a teacher, how did those roles influence the creation of 12 Months of April?
Um, a lot of things just kind of all came together. I remember sitting in a chair in our living room just thinking about things we were dealing with in our personal situation. And then the situation with Victor Perez in Idaho, police responded, and he was shot and eventually died. And it's like if there was a premise alert, they could have arrived there and known, like, oh, he has autism and cerebral palsy. Um, just it could have happened differently if proactive tools were used, whether it was trainings, de-escalations, alerts, registries. So that sat I already had things in our life, and then and then everything, autism has been more prominent in the news and politics recently, and just seeing a lot of the misinformation, judgment, everything just kinda going back and forth. It's like no one's actually solving a problem, everyone's just arguing about who's right.
Right.
It just all kinda came together. I was like, I'm gonna contact every municipality in Allegheny County, just say, "Hey, do you know about this, this, and this?" And then, that was how I was gonna take all that negative energy and try and problem solve.
Awesome. So, how did the trauma you and your husband experienced shift your worldview as parents, as partners, and as individuals?
Man, we experienced a very unique situation. Um, my husband had a court date outside of municipal or criminal law. No one did anything wrong. Um, and then a couple days later, we were followed home by an officer that we knew, and had asked to go to conflict resolution counseling with before. It ended with my husband making the conflicts of interest known to another officer, and my husband was then handcuffed and taken away. Um, and at the time, he has epilepsy, and with all the flashing lights, um, he was handcuffed, but he pulled his hat over his eyes, and I was like, I know that that's the sign, like, he's starting to get, the lights are affecting him." And so I ran over, "Can I check on him?" And I was told, "No, we'll bring him back when we're done with him."
Hmm.
Um, so, obviously that was traumatic for him, traumatic for me, because it's like he's being taken from our property. He might have a seizure. Um, what can I do to help him? What can I do to protect him and take care of him? Um, our daughter was thankfully asleep upstairs, so she never saw any of it. She doesn't know about it, but it's like I can't leave a then 2-year-old alone in the house, to then go to a police station and take care of my husband. So I'm calling people like, "Can you come over? Can you come over? Can you come over?" We had a babysitter, to watch our daughter. Ironically, well, we went to a counseling session to talk about some of the conflicts we were experiencing with others and how to problem solve. So I called, the babysitter came back, I left, went to the station, picked up my husband, he passed everything, you know, 100%, and then we just kinda came home, and obviously we're not going to bed, like, we were just, um, very I don't even know what word I wanna use, shook, I guess.
Sure.
So then my mom, I had called her even though she lives in Erie and couldn't help in that moment. She was someone I could talk to get through that night. She came down the next morning to spend time with us to be like, "Okay, what do you need to do?" She watched our daughter while we, started calling lawyers, or ironically, we both had our own individual counseling sessions the next day. Um, my mom was great helping us through that, and I think we did a great job handling the situation in the way that we did.
Sure. So, when you first began contacting the municipalities, what surprised you most about the gap between available programs and awareness?
Um, so with our personal situation, our daughter started being brought into things, messages sent or approaches made, um, discussing her by name, autism, neurodivergency, and very uninformed and negative, matters. One message sent was, "Well, if you wanna be left alone, what do you want to happen if there's an emergency with Leona," is our daughter, and named her specifically. So that was terrifying because it's like, you're gonna see a child in an emergency that has special needs, and you're just gonna say, "Oh, well, I have to leave them alone." Like, no. No, no, no. You help that child. Um, and, there's different levels of autism. Some are just enough on the spectrum that you might not know it at first. Um, so I wanted to work to problem solve like, hey, if someone doesn't know how to or doesn't want to help a child, how do we fix that? Like, as a teacher, I don't get to say like, oh, well, I'm not gonna work with that child. You
Sure.
have like, no, it's your job, do it. Um, so more issues continued, and I met with the municipality about those, and then I said, "Hey, have you heard of these programs?" Yellow dot is a yellow sticker that goes on your back windshield, lower left corner, and that will let a first responder know someone in the car has different needs, whether it's autism or someone's deaf, someone type 1 diabetes, blood disorder, like, whatever needs to be known to take care of that person and will help a first responder up front know, like, okay, there's a pamphlet in the glove box that will say, they have a pacemaker, whatever goes with it. So it's for medical and cognitive needs, or like this person is deaf. That way, someone like you isn't approaching a vehicle, whether it's routine or an accident, being like, okay, why isn't this person talking to me? Or why are they acting like this? That
Sure.
yellow dot can kind of give you the alert, like, okay, I'm going to have to approach this a little differently. I might have to do things differently, just to help make things safer for everyone. So we talked about things like that. And I got the municipality set up with the Yellow Dot program is free through the state, so I got the state to send them pamphlets to keep in different offices, available for the public. Um, we talked about Project Lifesaver, Premise Alert. We talked a little bit about Camp Sunnyside, which is like a summer camp where children with special needs can go to a camp and interact with police officers, state troopers, just to kinda learn about their jobs, but then also the officers can learn about working with different types of people, just a nice kind of bonding and educational experience. Um, and they had never heard of any of those things. So I was like, "Okay, well, let's fix that problem," and got them stocked with information in the lobbies, in hopes that even if just one person saw that and used it, it could benefit everyone should it ever be needed. And
Absolutely.
yeah.
So, Katie, what have you learned about the first responder community and that maybe you didn't fully understand before starting your project?
That's a very good question. I'm learning quite a bit. You know, we're not the experts. I'm not a first responder. Um, but obviously it's a crucial role. And it's kind of woven in and out of our lives different ways. I always say you never know what could happen. Like the one morning we heard noises in our front yard, and I said, "Oh, it's just a work truck going up the street." No, it ended up being a car accident in our front yard.
Jeez.
Um, so, police cars, ambulance, fire truck, everyone was okay. But you never know what could happen. Um, so through messaging places or donating sensory kits, we're learning like a lot of people want more understanding of like autism or special needs, but they don't know where to turn. And I understand that because when you start like trying to do a Google search, there might be 50 resources, but you don't know which one is good, and some of them cost money. And it's like, well, where do we turn? And I kind of felt that way teaching because I'm art, but I'm teaching these kids with a lot of like significant different needs that I didn't feel equipped for through my education and my experience, so I had to learn a lot very quickly, and it's like, man, I'm in a controlled setting, I have support, I can meet these kids ahead of time, know their names, I can read, documents about their needs. First responders might not most likely don't have that opportunity, like, you're meeting someone in their worst moment, and you might have never met them before, and now all of a sudden you have to, you know, try and keep someone safe who might be acting unsafe or running away or this won't come with you, things like that. Um, I try and take my inexperienced mindset and then transfer that over to what could help a first responder. We actually have done some presentations at different fire departments. We recently did one at West Homestead and just talking about different things to look for that could help. Like if a child has like a wet shirt collar, chances are they're more orally fixated.
Okay.
Their brain craves like the oral input. So if they are scared or whatever, chances are they might bite you. It's not an act of defiance. It's just I had a kid before who got scared of something and they latched down and bit my leg and whew, it hurt. But me knowing that child, I was like, okay, like they're scared. This is what their brain's telling them to do. So we try to say, like, if the shirt collar is wet or they're wearing something called jewelry, almost looks like a baby teether, but like on a necklace, they are probably more likely to bite or spit, something like that, just so you can kind of be like, okay, I've gotta watch out for the teeth.
Sure.
Just all sorts of different things like that.
So, if you could you explain what a sensory kit is and how it can change the outcome of a call involving someone with special needs?
Yeah, I can go grab one in a second.
Yeah,
Um, I actually, can I go grab it real quick?
absolutely.
Sorry.
Not a problem.
Okay, sorry about that.
Not
I
a
should have
problem.
been prepared.
Not a problem.
So, sensory kits that we make and donate, I always say this looks like just a bag of stuff that, like, we might dump out of our daughter's backpack, but everything in it has a purpose, and a lot of it is, it has served a purpose in my teaching, so I know it could serve a purpose, um, responding in emergencies, things like that. So, we put everything in a clear gallon bag so someone can see it immediately and it'll pique their interest.
Sure.
Um, Instead of like having a bag that you have to like, do you want this? Do you want this? Do you want this? That just instant, like, look what I got. My husband works for a school district and he took one into one of their special ed classrooms to show the teacher. And a kid immediately came over and just took the bag from him and was like, okay, now.
There we
So
go.
yeah, um, it could make the difference between, a child coming with you to leave an unsafe situation or calming them down. So clear bag. One of the bags has sunglasses in it for if there's light sensitivity. I always think of my husband with epilepsy. Earplugs for if things are too loud, like if you see a child or someone like with their hands over their ears, it's just louder to them.
Sure.
So get them earplugs to prevent more overstimulation. Tissues, band-aids, alcohol wipes. We always joke that EMS has the good band-aids, but, if a police officer is first to a scene, they can give them a band-aid with an astronaut on it, and maybe that'll help in the
Cool.
moment. Um, then we have a second Ziploc bag. It's just sandwich sized. There's paper and pen in it, so if someone is deaf or nonverbal, you can at least write back and forth to each other. What's your name? Are you hurt? What happened? Whatever. Because a woman that helps us with this project, her adult son is nonverbal. He can hear you and understand you, but he communicates back in sign language.
Okay.
I don't know sign language, so in that situation, I would have to write back and forth to him. What's your name? Are you hurt? Whatever. There's also crayons and stickers for fun if you need to like kind of occupy someone or distract them. There's a bubble wand for if someone's kind of like, hyperventilating, panicking. You can say like, okay, take a deep breath in, get some more oxygen to their brain, and then exhale. Look, bubbles, yay.
Awesome.
So kind of distract and entertain, but also help soothe their nervous system. And then there's a little tub of Play-Doh, to distract or entertain, but also if like they have a wound and you're cleaning it and it hurts them, like they can squeeze this instead of squeezing you. Like I said, I've had students before where if they don't like a way they feel, they're going to transfer that feeling to you. So Play-Doh is a little bit safer. Um, We put in little squishies for something soft, comforting, another safe thing to squeeze. And then all of the good tried and true fidgets, pop tubes,
Oh yeah.
uh, poppets, other different things like a slap bracelet. We love getting little McDonald's toys, um, different things. Just little things that can kind of distract, entertain. And then we always put some sort of book in, whether they can look at the pictures, if they're in a safe situation where they can read or someone can read to them. Or I have students that flip a page and they stim on it, stimulating. They just like scratch the picture, flip a page, 1, 2, 3, flip it. So everything in here has a purpose that has either helped me before or I know it would help someone else. So we just kind of, you know, get as much as we can, put it together, and then in a perfect world, these won't be needed, but we never know what could happen. So,
But at least you
uh,
can be prepared, and that's the
yeah.
whole purpose. That's awesome.
And it doesn't have to be like, you don't have to be like, do you have autism? Oh, no, you can't have this then. Like, no, whoever wants it, give it to them. And if an adult wants a pop tube, give them a pop tube if that helps them in the moment. So,
Awesome.
yeah.
So, when you think about the over 800 sensory kits that you've donated to departments so far, what does that number represent to you emotionally?
Almost disbelief. Um, I'm just so proud of us. We just people keep donating, whether it's cleaning out their toy boxes or an Amazon wish list. Now that we're a nonprofit, people can make monetary donations. Um, so it's always amazing to me that people are giving us things to help us make these. And then when we go give them to organizations, they're like, really? Like for us? How much does it cost? It's free? Like, why are you doing this? Like, everyone's just all kind of in disbelief that we're all helping each other, just trying to, cycle things through to help out. So far in everyone that we've donated to, I can only think of 2 places that already had some sort of thing. I know McCandless Franklin Park had little Tupperwares of fidgets in their ambulances. Um, But otherwise, they might have stuffed animals, things like that, but
Sure.
nothing a little more in depth with different purposes to help with sensory needs, things like that. So I'm
Very
just
purpose driven. That's what was really
yeah,
cool to see that everything had,
yeah,
like you said, has a purpose. Awesome.
yeah.
So, without sharing anything that you're not comfortable with,
Mhm.
what was the true turning point in your own trauma that made you realize that you needed support?
Um, so I it kinda compiled, a couple years ago when I taught for Pittsburgh Public and then budget cuts, I was displaced. I lost my position, not my job. Um, Very upsetting. And then not even a week later, we were at Ross Park Mall in the kids' play area and ended up getting assaulted by a group of teens that were in there. Not a good situation. We learned that we were this person's fifth criminal charge. They're getting an ankle monitor on the next day. I've seen their name in the news recently, so wrong place, wrong time, but, um, ended up getting punched in the face. So, lost my job, punched in the face, and then a couple weeks later, the situation where, um, my husband was taken away in handcuffs, returned physically fine, no charges or legal, you know, whatever results. But our nervous systems after all of that were just like pop rocks, just like, woo.
Done.
And
Yep.
I had very hypervigilant, very just fight or flight, constantly like, okay, 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 what do we got to do? What do we got to do? So I had heard of EMDR therapy, but didn't know much about it. My own therapist talked to me about it a little bit, but I was like, "Okay, no, I'll put that on the back burner for now." But then after all of that happened, I actually went to my school nurse after the assault, and was like, "Can you please just check me out?" Like, paramedics checked us out at the time, but I was like, "I have a headache, please help me." She's like, "You should do EMDR." I was like, "Okay, I've heard of it. Uh, I keep being told about it. I should look into it now." So, I contacted the counseling place where I already went and said, "Hey, I wanna do this." And so they got me on, I don't even wanna call it a wait list because within, like, 2 weeks, I was set up with someone.
Okay.
So I started meeting with this therapist. Her name's Pam. We did some in-person sessions, we did some virtual sessions, to get started with everything. I really had no idea what to expect. Like, my husband was like, "Do you wear, like, a foil hat? Like, what do you do?" And I was like, "I don't know. I'll tell you." And he ended up also doing EMDR with Pam, um, because normally a therapist wouldn't see, like, conflict of interest issues, but we were both needing help with the same problem. The problem wasn't with each other, so it was kinda good, like, I paved the way and gave all the details, so then he also did EMDR, and it was kind of expedited since I had already given her all the details of what happened.
Sure. So let me know, how did that trauma show up in your body and your daily life before you sought therapy?
Well, it was very interesting. My counselor made the point to me that all traumas are gonna show up the same in your bodies, whether you're a first responder being triggered by an event, or me with this, or someone else with that. Like, this physiological response is all the same. I know for me, like, there was a time in a situation where my Fitbit registered that my heart rate was in cardio,
Mm.
but I was standing still. And I was like, "Oh my." Um, so a lot of, like, rapid heart, breathing, my hands would feel very, tight but shaky, and, like, just knowing, like, "Okay, this happened before, it could happen again, what can I do about it?" But my brain wouldn't make it to, "What can I do about it?" It would just be like, "This could happen again, this could happen again, this could happen again."
Yeah,
Um,
stuck in the fight and flight.
yeah, so we did different exercises to, like, talk through everything, and for me with, job loss, assault situation, it was like, "Okay, where do we focus on?" Um, but we kind of went with the last situation was, like, the biggest part, um, that wasn't really going to go away, so it's like, "Okay, that's what we gotta work on, that's what we gotta talk about."
So as you said, EMDR can sound unusual at first.
Yes.
What would you say to someone who's skeptical but struggling?
Don't be skeptical, like, go for it. Um, we spent a few sessions just talking about things, um, trying to, like, get the temperature on what was the biggest issue, what was I feeling, how did we need to fix it for the future. Um, EMDR stands for eye movement desensitiz desensitization reprocessing. Acronym is easier to say. Um, but it doesn't just have to be like, there are treatments where, like, there will be lights that flash. The main goal is to stimulate bilateral stimulation in your brain. So I held a buzzer in each hand, like the size of my palm, and the therapist would control the alternating buzzing while I talked about, and you don't do this every session, this was just the one reprocessing, um, and we would identify the negative cognition. So what was my brain going through when I was triggered or faced with something similar to the original event? Um, and she had like a list. So if you couldn't think of what you were feeling, kind of multiple choice or a word bank. Um, and I really related with I have no power. We are not safe. I can't protect us. Just that moment where it's like, my husband's being taken away, but if I leave, what happens to our daughter? What happens to me? Like, I can't do anything. Um, and anyone that could have helped us was either not home or 2 hours away, so it's like absolute helplessness. I have no power. I can't protect us. So we talked about that, and then it shifted into the positive cognition. What's the opposite of that? And it was, I have power, I can protect us, I can keep us safe. Um, and we talked about the situation and moments where I did have power. I might not have felt it, but, I didn't react. I didn't, nothing verbal, nothing physical. I just turned, went back to the house, started making phone calls. I did have power. It just didn't feel like it in that moment. And it ends up you do like 1 or 2 reprocessing sessions, and it's not gonna end up being like Cinderella transforming in her dress, like, "Oh my god, I feel so different now." Um, you just kinda go through it and, it is what it is, you leave, you're fine, and then but I noticed the next time we were in a similar situation, my Fitbit didn't alert me of my heart rate. I might have had a moment like, but then it's like, "Okay, I
You
got
got it.
this." Like, we have our dash cam on, I can record on my phone, our daughter's right here, we'll go over there, like, I got this. And then it was the positive cognition of I can protect us, I can keep us safe.
So, what did healing actually feel like? Not in theory, but in real life.
Really just taking the negative energy and putting it into something good, problem solving, Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
That's when my dog just got home. My dogs are Boston Terriers, but they think that they're, these fierce warrior dogs. Gonna shut the door so they don't come back. So healing, um, just taking the negative energy and putting it into good things. Like, we tried to work with our municipality on like, how did these things happen? Um, this isn't good for anyone. How can we keep this from happening again? Can we work on policy change? Can we do this? Can we do that? And that wasn't working at all. So then it became like, okay, what can we do alone? And that's kind of how the project came about of like, okay, there's a lot of wonderful people that we've met in the first responder world that, you know, they want to learn more. They do want to help and protect and serve. And it's like, okay, how can we help them help others? Because again, everyone, you might take little pieces of like, here's responding to, someone with mental health or autism or addiction or domestic violence, like whatever. You deal so many things that it's like you can't be the absolute expert on
Yeah.
everything, but if we can give you some things that we learned in our lives, then, even if it helps one person, then that's progress.
It's like a jack
Uh,
of all trades and a master of
yeah,
none. We're like Swiss
yes.
Army knives. We can do a lot of
Yeah,
things, but we're not definitely experts at everything. Isn't
yeah.
that the
So,
truth?
yeah, even if this is just an extra tool in the box, like,
Yeah.
that's what we wanna help with, and then it just helps everyone. We just wanna reduce trauma for
Yeah.
everyone.
That is
Um
that's the big thing is you hit it right on the head is it's another tool in the toolbox
Mhm.
to better prepare responders to deal with someone that is autistic or is neurodivergent or anything along those lines, just to better help serve the public.
Yeah, we did a presentation and someone from oh, I can't remember, I'm so sorry. One of the EMSs in the South, said, "These are things that might help us from having to sedate a person," um, things like that. So, just again, taking our negative situations and experiences or things we see on the news, and then how can we prevent that from happening again? How can we truly problem solve? And it's been just as good for us. Like it gives us a purpose. If we are feeling triggered about something, it's like, okay, this negative energy, what are we going to do with it? And then, I mean, I'm going to go make some kits. We just have everything in our basement or in our living room. So it's nice to just sit there and like our daughter helps us. I'll put the crayons in the bag, but that's it. Okay, princess.
There you
Um,
go.
Yeah, um, she is our I joke that she's the employee of the month every month, but she requires a lot of snack breaks. She's 6, so,
Snacks are the
uh,
best thing ever.
yes, she'll make, like, 5 or 6 kits and then, like, "Okay, I need pudding." It's like, "Alright, go get some pudding." So, yeah, healing has looked very different. You don't have to, like, all of a sudden be like, "I'm full of light and love and all rainbows and unicorns." Like, no, you just take the negative energy and see how you can transfer it into something good.
Absolutely. Repurpose that energy and turn it to something positive.
Yeah.
So, how now do you protect your own nervous system now while continuing to advocate and educate?
Um, I think working with everyone has really helped us know that there's a lot of good people out there with good intentions, and we're helping make things even better. Um, we all do our own counseling. I've been with my counselor for over 6 years. When she switched practices, I was like, "I'm coming with you." Um just whatever. My husband and I are really good at asking, like, we can tell when one of us is getting triggered for what from whatever, and, we say, "What can I do for you?" Or and sometimes it's as simple as, like, I need a snack, I need pudding," or I need to go lay down for a little bit," or, um, "I just need quiet," and it's always so simple. So it's like that's something in the first responder community, like, someone's having a rough day, just say, "What can I do for you?" And maybe they just, "Can you get me a coffee?" Like, "Can you watch this for a second?" Like, whatever. Um, just kinda helping from their own nervous system overload. Um, everyone everyone has sensory needs. You don't have to be autistic to need it. I have a fidget ring on my thumb that I am constantly playing with. Some people, they gotta chew gum or, just all sorts of different things. Like, everyone has those things, and it helps us regulate. It's our brain being like, "I don't feel right. I need you to do this so I can feel calm," or I want the warm tinglies." Like, "Go get that caffeinated drink." Like, "Go get the carbonated drink." Um, "I wanna feel the bubbles." Just things like that. So um, counseling, it's okay to be on meds too. Again, like if you have blood pressure
Oh, yeah.
problems, you take meds for it. Like if you have brain chemistry problems, it's okay to take care of those too. And then just different ways to help us regulate, whether it's a fidget ring or saying, "What can I do for you?" and it ends up normally being something very simple.
And that's how it was for me to finally reach out to find a therapist. I was so against being put on any meds at all. And after I was prescribed my antidepressant medications, I'm like, what did I wait for so long? Why did I wait
Mm,
so long? Because
yeah,
it felt like a huge weight just came off my shoulders. You know,
yeah,
that the whole, like they say, you feel a weight, like a heavy depression weight or just cloudiness and not clear conscious. And after I took my very first dose, I was like, where'd this come from? Oh my goodness.
yeah.
So
And
it's amazing. It's amazing.
and there's nothing wrong with it. I feel like if someone has a problem with you taking meds to take care of yourself, then that's on them. Like, don't worry about what they say. They're not the one in your head. They're not the one living your life. You know, I if anyone says anything negative, I'm sorry you feel that way. This is what works for me.
Yep. So Katie, if a first responder or a parent is listening right now, thinking I should be stronger than this, what would you tell them?
I wouldn't go with the shoulds. Like, I should be stronger. Like, we're all human. Life is hard. Um, First responders, you don't meet people in their best moment. Like, oh, you just won trivia night. Good job. Like, no, it's real bad. Um, those are heavy things. Like, those are things people watch on TV to be like entertained or like the true crime podcasts. Like, but no, like that stuff's real. And first responders see that, experience it, and whether it affects you quickly or over time, like it can affect you. So take care of yourself. You only get one you, Again, if there's something wrong with your car, you go get it looked at. Like if you're not driving well, why wouldn't you go get looked at? And same for parents, like whether your children are neurotypical or divergent, like it's hard. Um, Take care of yourself because you can't be your best for your kids if you're not being your best for yourself. Um, you know, and teach your kids about it. Like our daughter has a therapist called the Feelings Detective, based up a little spot of feelings. We're all very open about it. I have no problem telling people like, yeah, today I went to the chiropractor and then I got my hair cut and then I went to the counselor. Like it was like a spa day. Um, so for everyone, like it's okay to take care of yourself. You should take care of yourself. Not I should be better or do better. It's you should take care of yourself.
Yeah. On a hopeful note, what does healing look like to you today? And what do you want listeners to walk away believing about their own capacity to heal?
Um, I want everyone to know that you can and it's okay. Going to therapy, it's not what you see in movies where someone's laying on a couch crying. Like it's not all tissues and tears. Sometimes you can just go to complain and vent, be like, "Oh my god, they did this today and I just couldn't believe it." Rah." Like it's a safe place to just say whatever you want. Um, Again, it's not all tears and tissues. You're not going and like ripping all your feelings out at once. Like, no, it's just go talk. It's just like a very informed friend. Um, Go talk to someone. EMDR, a Google search might still look confusing to try and understand it, but if you've experienced a trauma and it is just stuck in your brain and your body, like look into EMDR. There's more therapists getting trained in it because it does work that well. Um, Help your brain. It grows new neurons in your brain so you can move past the trauma that has you locked and literally not growing your brain. Um, and like I try to think about what that would look like for a first responder. Yes, it would be hard to talk about the event that you're going for, but it could also be very validating because you're with someone who is like, Yeah, that's terrible. Like, tell me more about how you felt, like, working on it for you without any judgment, boundaries, like, work it out. It happened, it's there in you, let's work on it.
Yeah. And if you could, it's been a fantastic and enlightening interview. If you could let everyone know where they can go to see more information about 12 months of April, how they can help donate, and how they can do whatever to help you get your word out and help spread the information that you have for them.
Yeah, well, thank you for that opportunity. I really want people to know about EMDR, but then also if they know about what we're doing and we can train more people, then maybe that will prevent people from needing EMDR. So it started with a Facebook page because it's free and I don't know how to make a website. Um, so it's the number 12 months of April. And then it's Pittsburgh, PA, Autism Advocacy Project in Pittsburgh, PA. We did make a website that is on the Facebook page, but most of everything goes through Facebook because we can just update it. Yesterday we delivered kits, and then we went to an event for one of my husband's kids, and I could sit there in the audience and be like, "Okay, adding pictures. This is what we did today. Thank you to this person for your donation." Our email is on there, which is 12MOAPITTPA, so 12 months of April, PIT PA, at gmail.com. Someone from up in Butler County messaged me yesterday being like, "We wanna be a part of this," and it's like, "Good, yes." So you can message us through Facebook, email, I think I have my phone number on the website, really however you can get a hold of us. We're trying to cover everyone in Allegheny County. If we've missed anyone, there's been some places we've reached out to 2 or 3 times, but I haven't heard back. Um, so it's like, okay, I keep very good track of who we've reached out to. I'll come back to them later. So we're just kinda keep moving, seeing, like, how we can, share information, donate the sensory kits, and go from there. We do have an Amazon wish list, which is connected to our pages. There is a GoFundMe, people can make a monetary donation, and since we are, an IRS-approved nonprofit, it is tax deductible, so really, we appreciate people, like, cleaning out their toy boxes, like, all that stuff that kids accumulate, and it's like, "What do I do with 18 Slinkies?" You
Right.
give them to us. Um, what am I gonna do with 14 pop tubes? Okay, well, keep a few, give the rest to us. I was picking up books from someone that they're donating books, and I saw a garbage bag full of Poppets next to their garbage can. I was like, "I'm not trying to be weird, but what are you doing with those?" And they're like, "Oh, my daughter doesn't want them anymore. We're just throwing them out." And I was like, "No, I'll take them. Like, I'll take them all." So, and we're helping the environment too by keeping things out of landfills. So,
Yeah.
uh, we just appreciate everyone that has helped us, all the things we have in the works, and we're very proud that we've been problem solving, trying to be proactive and just make things better for everyone.
Well, that's absolutely fantastic. We really thank you for what you're doing for the community, uh, for the autistic community, for the community at large, to better prepare first responders who make contact with anyone with
Mhm.
those things. So please continue to do what you're doing. We think it's amazing. Whatever we can do to help spread your word, we'll share it on our Facebook page or
Yeah.
share it out on here, obviously on the podcast. But please let us know if we can do anything. If there's any events we can come set up with you
Okay.
and keep
Yeah, that would
spreading the
be
word.
great.
Let's do it.
Yeah. Well, thank you so
Okay.
much. Thank you for all that
Okay.
you're doing. Well,
Absolutely. This is what it's about, is helping that one person at a time. That's what we said. When we decided to do the podcast, my wife and I are sitting in bed having this conversation. She looked at me kind of funny. She's like, "How much is this going to cost us?" but and then we said, "Well, if it helps one person, it's worth everything that we're doing." So
absolutely. I agree.
Katie, 12 months of April. Thank you so much for coming on. We really appreciate you.
Thank you. This has
All
been
right,
great.
guys. If you'd like to be on the podcast here, hit us up at TWWC Podcast at proton.me. Let's continue this journey and this mission to help break the stigma of mental health, help break the stigma of helping people with any special needs, and getting us better prepared to help them and help everyone. Okay? We appreciate you guys. Love you. We'll see you guys later.